So this is my Anycubic Kobra Neo 2 and it's a great machine, but I think it needs one upgrade. So for 3D printing, some of the most common materials are PLA, PETG and ABS, but some of them like ABS tend to create really nasty fumes that I don't want in my shop. So my idea is to redesign this cover right here in order to mount the vacuum system down there so the fumes are immediately sucked away where they appear. So let's have a look at the insides, and right here we have a big fan that's connected to the part cooling. Here we have the extruder, the heatsink and the hot end. And you might notice there is a fan missing because usually you have an individual fan connected to the heatsink that's blowing cold air through little gaps right here in order to keep the heatsink cool, so the filament is only it's just melting down there in the hot end and not blocking the heatsink right here. But this is a really cool design because this fan is sucking air in from the front and from the back. So when it sucks the air in from the back, because I can take this out, it sits right in front of the heatsink, the air has to travel from the side into the heatsink through the little gaps right here and then into the fan. So the fan is sucking the air from the sides through the heatsink and then down to the part cooling. And that's a really good idea because that way you are saving weight and you are saving money because you don't need a second fan. But now that I have the cover, let's redesign the thing. So remember what I told you earlier about that there's just one fan in the whole extruder system? That's actually not true because there's another one right behind the heatsink. So screw that information from earlier. But if you're wondering why I'm taking this apart, it's because I had a blockage in here in the extruder system right here. So that's why here you can see there's still filament left. I'm just cleaning that. So here I got a new cover, let's see if it works. So 1, 2, 3, and yeah, it works. Oh my gosh, that's awesome, but also scary because those things tend to never work out in the first place. And here's the final part. So it's actually two parts because it's the main enclosure right here and then the vacuum system. And as you can see, the vacuum system fits around the main enclosure and sucks all the fumes in down here. But now I have to decide how I want to print it because I could print in ABS. The original enclosure is made from ABS, I think. But the problem is I'm making the thing in order to print with ABS, so I can't use that. But I could use PLA or PETG because they're the filaments I've got laying around. PETG has a much lower melting point as PLA has a much lower melting point than the ABS. So with PLA I would risk that this thing starts melting during the print process, and that's definitely not something I want to happen. So I could print it in PETG because the melting point between PETG lays roughly around 230 degrees Celsius. But here's the thing. So I sliced the vacuum system in PETG, in my PETG settings, and it would take around 8 hours. And when I have a look at the same model sliced in PLA, it would just only have 4 hours. So printing PLA would be twice as fast. And here it is. So those are the two parts. I printed this part in PLA, and let's be honest, the surface finish is beautiful. So here, yeah, the seam is ugly, but the surface finish overall, it's beautiful. And here's the main enclosure. I printed it in PETG since PETG has a higher melting point than PLA. So I hope it's not melting during the printing process. Here I already threaded in pressed in the heat threaded insert. Now let's screw in the little fan. So it fits. That's important. Now screw in the screws. Yeah, and that screw is overscrewed. So shit. Damn it, stupid screw. Screw you, screw. Well, after a quick discussion, we, and by we I mean me, and the plastic pillars right here, came to the conclusion that it's probably best to give the little plastic pillars a bit more personal space in order to... And so I swapped them by these M3 bolts since they won't break off like you did. So now that I solved the problem, let's join these two parts by using the cheapest super glue I was able to find in the $1 store. Finally, let's bring in a proper sized clamp to make sure that there is a rather good connection between those two parts. Now, let's just wait for it to dry. And so here it is. Is it pretty? No. Does it work? Let's find out. So I connected this thing to my shop vacuum right here, and this green tube is connected to a smoke machine so that I can guide smoke to the fan. Then the fan sucks in the smoke, blows it out here, and then it gets back sucked back into the white vacuum part. So the Anycubic Kobra 2 comes with this spool holder right here. You can just hook this on there and then put your spool on here, and it works totally fine. But I don't need it because I have another spool system. And the original Kobra Neo, so the first version, has another spool holder system, because the first version does not feature such a PTFE tube. But the spool holder is on here. So here's the spool, and then the filament gets down there into the extruder. It works totally fine. But Anycubic wanted to save some money on the Kobra Neo 2. That's why they reused some of the original parts, like the beam, top beam right here. Because here, as you can see, there are the two mounting holes for original spool holders. So you can remove this PTFE tubing and then put here a spool holder, but I can also use this for my vacuuming system because I need a place to mount my fan. So and therefore I made these parts right here. This is the fan, the main body that's going to go on the printer like that. So here are the mounting holes, and then I have this fan right here. That's a pretty powerful fan. This goes on there, and then I have these two covers right here that are holding the active coal filter so that the fumes are sucked in here, through the fan, and then through the active coal. But now you might think how I want to attach this thing to my vacuum system on the print head. So therefore I have this right here. I don't know if you know these things, but this is one of these noise making tubes. So when you can pull it out and then you swing it around real fast, and then it makes this like ghost sounds, or it's a kid's toy. And this thing has been sitting on my shelf for, I guess, 6 years now, because I refused to throw it away, and I knew one day I will need it, and today is now. So I made this fitting right here that fits perfectly into this thing right there. And so I have an airtight seal, and now I can connect this side to my vacuum system. But before, I have to assemble the whole thing. And so that is the vacuum system down here, connected through the green tubing. Here the fan, there the active coal filter. Now when I turn this on, let me just see, it tucks away all the fumes down there. And thanks to the green tubing, it can freely move. And thanks to the shape of this part right here, the cable will never get stuck because it's sliding over this edge and then is guided through this curve. So the cable is safe, the system is fixed, the fumes are sucked away, I'm safe. Nice! So I think this thing turned out pretty cool, and if this enjoyed it, feel free to like, share and subscribe. All the links to the parts you will find in the video description. So have a nice day and see you soon.